starving. It's a snook. That's a snook.
Alrighty guys, welcome to a brand new video. So I was going through my videos that I had posted recently and I realized that I haven't uploaded a fish tank video in the longest time, and the last fish tank video I did was putting this betta fish into the tank, and that was like, I don't even know, 6 months ago. So today we are going to be doing a brand new fish tank video. I actually have to clean both of my fish tanks right now, and we're gonna clean them right now, and then I'm gonna give you guys a little update about what's been going on. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, so stay tuned. So at the moment the fish tank is in a total disaster. Water levels down, and I've got this water spray overtaking my tank. I haven't removed any of it, so I gotta remove some of that. And my filter is currently clogged because the filter's gotta be cleaned. But anyways, once I clean up this tank, I'll give you guys a better look at the fish. And then when we come up here to the betta tank, we've got the betta fish in there. I've got so many glares in here. See the betta tank right there? Oh, there he is. You can see him right there. He's chilling. Oh, boy, calm down. Alright, so I'm going to clean this up, and then I'm going to give you guys a better look once I am finished with that. So, we're going to get right to it. So typically when I'm cleaning my fish tanks, I usually clean both of them at the same time because I have everything out, unless there's something special I have to do. But today I have to clean both of these tanks, but I always start with my 30-gallon and then I work on my betta tank. But I usually do both of them at the same exact time, but my main focus right now is going to be the 30-gallon, and then we're going to clean up the betta tank. So we're going to go get started cleaning this guy up right there. And then we are going to start in the betta, so stay tuned. Alright guys, so I just got done siphoning out the water. I don't usually take out that much. I took out about that much water, but it was already like down here, so I didn't take out too much. All I did was clean up the bottom with all the waste and any debris that I had to clean out, and I removed some of the water spray. In the time lapse you guys saw, I showed you guys the anacris, how it's growing really nice, and I removed a lot of water spray. Like, look at this. That's just one bunch. There's like a bunch in there. So I filled this bucket up with that, and then at the same time we're gonna come back here and I'm gonna remove some of the water out of here and clean up this tank at the same exact time. That way I don't have to do double work instead of taking this out and doing it. So I do it all one time, and that way it's a lot faster to clean. So I just finished cleaning the betta, as in emptying the water, scrubbing the inside of the glass, taking out all of the stuff at the bottom. And one recommendation I can recommend to you guys about white sand, as you can see, all that brown stuff on the white sand is all from when I had first started the tank. I had this really nasty brown algae, and I still do have some of it, and it stained the white sand, and it's really not aesthetically pleasing. So if you don't want your tank looking like this with the brown, definitely get the black sand, because black sand doesn't get dirty, or it gets dirty but you just don't see it. So if you don't want to see all this, definitely get the black sand. I may change this to black eventually because I really hate the way this thing looks. But I've had this black sand for the longest time, and you can't even tell if it's dirty or not. It looks amazing. So we're done here. And I've got the wood, the driftwood in here. I have to take it outside and scrub it because it's got algae all over it. And I've got the filters in there, and I also have to scrub the actual filter pump. Wait. I have to scrub the actual filter because it's got some gunk on it that I gotta clean up. We just got done cleaning the driftwood. It was full of algae, so I had to take it out of the tank and scrub it. That's usually what I do every couple weeks because the algae gets really built up on it, and I have to clean it because then it doesn't look really good in the tank and it gets really nasty. So I usually take it out of the tank every 2 or 3 weeks, and I'll scrub it with the toothbrush, spray it off with the water, and repeat that process until it's super clean. And sometimes I'll miss a couple spots here and there, but it's no big deal. And also, I know some of you may probably watching this video and you know about fish tanks, that what I just did with my filters is usually something you're not supposed to do. I took the hose, which is tap water and there's chlorine in it. There's no dechlor in the water or anything, and I blasted off my filters. So I want to explain the reason why I do this. So some of you probably won't agree with me on this, but what I do is I leave the sponges that come with my filter, I leave it in the filter, and that has beneficial bacteria already in it. Now once I clean these, the bacteria basically gets washed out, at least majority of it, because I'm spraying it off really hard to get that, all that brown stuff that I was spraying off the filter, that's all bacteria. And what it does is it clogs the filter and the filter's not able to flow through the water. So the reason I do this is to extend the life of the filters, because sometimes I would go through filters in like a month and it gets clogged up with the bacteria, and then I throw the filter away, and I realized that if I spray it off, that I can extend the life. I've been using these filters for a couple months now, and usually in a month they'll get clogged. So I don't do it pretty often. I do it every 3 weeks or something like that whenever it gets clogged. So that's the reason I blasted those off. But I haven't had any issues with the tank. This tank's been cycling for almost 2 years now, and it has a lot of bacteria built up in the water column and also in the filters and everything. So I haven't had any issues there. Now, it's a different story when it comes to my 5-gallon Betta tank, because I've only had this tank cycling for about 6 months now. So what I do is with that one, instead of blasting off with a hose, I use the water that's already from my fish tank. I put it in there and I just swizzle it around, move it around in the thing to get some of the bacteria off, and I'll scrub it off a little bit. And usually that gets off some of the gunk that builds up on the filter. All right, I'm gonna put the driftwood back in. You guys are gonna see the difference with what happens when I scrub this thing and how it looks when it's done. And the plants are a little bit different in the tank right now. I'm gonna tell you guys what happened. And right here, right there, squishing down, and that's that. All right, and then I just gotta put these filters back in. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. Usually it doesn't work out, but let's see here. Lift that up. There we go, perfect. This is 2, but I gotta bring that forward first. Slide this guy right in. And just put this cover back. Fuck it, put it right there. Slide this forward. Well, no, I still need that back because I gotta fill the tank. Alright, filter just slides right onto here. And we just gotta drop this cable down. Last thing I almost forgot, I have to trim my Amazon swords. My Amazon swords aren't doing the best. but they're alive and they're growing. This one in the middle is doing the best out of all of them, but you can see I have some decay on the leaves there. I'll talk about that a little later in today's video, but I'm gonna go trim those up. I forgot to do it in the last step when I just cleared out all the plants, but I just gotta do it real quick and then we're gonna fill this up. You see how much leaves I cut off there. And actually when you cut the leaves, they actually grow. It grows fuller, believe it or not. So I usually trim them off pretty good. I trim them all the way around and knock off some of those leaves that aren't doing that great. That way, the leaves that are doing good will they'll grow much better. So, alrighty, guys, tanks are filled up, 1 and 2. So now all we gotta do is come down here. You guys can barely see, but it's okay. Heater and the filter. Put this on full. Put that on full. There we go. And this one is a little bit more complicated, so I gotta set the camera down to get this one done. Okay, I just finished cleaning all of the tanks. I've only got a couple more things to do. I won't do this on camera because it's a little extra. I usually take Windex and I'll clean the front glass, that way it looks really clean. Like that one especially, it gets really dirty. So one last thing, this, if some of you have watched my previous videos, you know that I use this. This is fertilizer for my plants, and this is what really makes the plants grow, especially those, oh, I missed one of the, oh man. Especially those plants like the water sprite that grows in the water column. This is what helps them grow really good. So it's 1 squirt per 10 gallons. So I usually put 3 in the 30 and half in here. Not much. So this really, if you guys are interested in getting a good fertilizer, it's called Thrive. You guys can see it there. I'll have it linked in the description. Okay guys, so we are officially finished cleaning the fish tanks. I didn't really want to make this an in-depth video of cleaning my fish tanks because I already made a video discussing about how I clean my fish tanks. Now, I think it was only on my 30 gallon and I'm not sure if my 5 gallon Betta was in there, but pretty much the process is just exactly the same of what I did today. So if you guys want to check that video out on how I clean my fish tanks, I'll have it linked right here and you guys can go check that video out. I'd really appreciate it. Okay, so as you guys can see, the Betta fish is doing great. It's been doing great since I got him. And I have the driftwood in here. So the problem is there's been a lot of algae buildup on the actual driftwood. So I've been having to take it out and scrub it. So it looks good right now, but after maybe a couple weeks, it'll start building up little hair algae sticking up, so I'd have to take it out and scrub it. So a couple other changes I made. As you can see at the top here, I changed the filter. I put a bigger, upgraded the filter and I made it a little bit bigger so that way it can filter the water much better. And what I did is I'm gonna zoom in here so you guys can see, I put a little plastic piece right there in order to restrict the water flow because it flows kind of heavy and I don't really like that for the Betta fish. And then I also put in some water sprite in here, and I did take out a lot of the anacryds because they weren't doing good. And what I did is I also took out the Java fern and I put it in the 30 gallon right there. The Java fern isn't doing that great. It hasn't really grown much. I guess it's really full grown already. I did take some of the anacryds out and I planted it in here and it's doing much better. As you can see, it is really thick and green. I've got 2 sets here. I got 1 planted there and 1 in the back. And as you can see, it is just blossoming and it's just like growing super thick. Water sprite is doing great as well. It's always like overtaking my tank, which is crazy. And the Amazon. So I got rid of both of my big Amazons. I don't know if I showed this in the last video. I got rid of both of my huge Amazons I had because they were just taking over my tank and it was too bushy, and it also was like taking like the nutrients from the other plants that were in the ground. It was just like sucking out so much nutrients and they were getting way too big. So what I did is I pulled off some plants out of my big Amazons that had babies and I planted these. So I have 1, 2, and 3. So right now I have 3 of those, and they're doing good. They're not doing the best, but I noticed that this one is doing much better. It's getting that height that I want, and this one as well. It's growing a little taller, and I only have a little problem with the decay, and that's because of the nutrients that are in the tank is kind of low. So I've been putting in root tabs, and that's been helping the tank with that. Same setup, and all the fish are doing great. You can see the fish. Move this chair out the way. You can see all the fish in there. Kind of hard to see them. They're in there though. You can see the big Grommy. He's back here, right at the top, right there. Since my last video I posted, I don't think I had any of my fish die. So all of my fish are doing great. And Placo, let me find the Placo. Oh, he's under here. He's right under there. You could see him kind of chilling under there. He's hiding. He loves that driftwood though. You guys can see it better with the light. There we go. Now you can see it much better. That's awesome. And I may upgrade this light. I may get a brighter light than that because it isn't putting out as much light as I want. Or I may just get another one of those and put 2 of them, but maybe I'll upgrade the light later on. And now you can see the 30 gallon a little bit better. Still a little cloudy from the cleaning, but... Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you liked it, make sure you hit that like button, and if this is your first time on my channel, please be sure to hit the subscribe button for more fish tank content like this. And I also do a ton of Southeast Florida fishing, and if you're into fishing or fish tanks, I do both of these type of videos. So I just want to thank you guys all for joining me here on today's video. I just want to thank you guys so much for always watching my videos. I really appreciate every single one of you. My channel's been growing at a little bit of a higher rate now, so which is good. I'm really happy that we have new people on the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one.